Good morning, Ibadan. You are tuned in to Daybreak Live right here on Dominion Television, your #1 station for impactful stories and thought-provoking conversations. All right, welcome to the big story, where we don't just scratch the surface, we dig deep into the issues that shape our city, our people, and our everyday lives. Today, we turn our focus to a very real urban struggle, the excesses of house agents in Ibadan. From arbitrary charges to shady deals and from false promises to stressful house hunting experience, residents continue to bear the brunt of a system that seems unchecked. I am Samson Balogun, and of course, I welcome you to this edition. Ibadan is expanding, and so is house demand. With that comes a struggle in agents who often operate without regulations, oversight, or empathy. The process of finding a place to live has become a journey filled with unnecessary hurdles, fake listings, multiple inspection fees, last-minute price changes, and in some cases, outright fraud. But what exactly is fueling these excesses? Is it a failure of policy, enforcement, or simply greed unchecked? Today, on the big story, we speak to affected people. Of course, we are going to take comments, legal minds, and housing stakeholders who we have in the studio this morning as we ask who protects the house seeker in Ibadan and what can be done to sanitize this sector. Good morning once again. Samson Balogun is my name. Of course, I have with me in the studio the Real Estate Developer Association of Nigeria, REDAN. Of course, he's a member. His name is Oladipupo Abiodun Hakim. Good to have you in the studio.
Good morning, Mr. Balogun.
All right. There is a burning issue when it comes to finding accommodation in Ibadan. Agents have become lords on their own. They dictate the play. In fact, sometimes they advise the landlord how much to lease a property. How do you make sense of the current situation, the carnage in the real estate world in Ibadan?
Firstly, good morning, Nigerian. Yeah, referring to your questions, the first problem we have is the regulatory system. If there is no regulatory system, things like this will continue to occur. There is no way an agent will advise the landlord. There are so many landlords that they will tell you that their social amount they wanted to put their houses on let. Most time we do advise them, few of them do listing. But if you wanted to elect an individual who struggle hard to build his own personal house, what will you talk about the government? Have you been to the Oyo State Housing Corporation Board? Have you been asked about their houses? How much do they put it on let? The Odua investment are there. These are where the problem comes from. The government will first set up a regulatory body. After that, the government owns apartments will come lesser. Then it will affect the masses. It will affect the public. It will affect the personal individual who wanted to build a house and give it out for 5 million. Where your so-called standard of 3-bedroom with the government is 1.5. You can't put your own for 5 million where you see the lesser one of 1.5. Let me give you an instance. In London, I live in council flat in London. I've once lived in council flat in Barking in London. A council flat in London then is £200 per month. £200 per month. Individual flat, just a room, a flat of 3-bedroom is £700. Can you now consider £200 to £700? Government have to come in fully. Government have to come in fully. There is no way. We have 3 associations in Nigeria today, if you don't know. REDAN, Real Estate Development Association of Nigeria. Nigerian Institute of Estate Survey and Valuer, and the Estate Rent and Commission, ECAN. These 3 bodies cannot do it all alone. We need government intervention. There is no way an association can do it. It is government. Everybody is a potential criminal, you know. So it is government that will curb you that this is, if you can't move beyond this boundary. If government curb you and this is set a goal line like this, how you pass, nobody will move beyond that boundary.
You belong to REDAN.
Yes, sir.
You are a member.
Yes, sir.
You are part of them.
Of course, sir.
What exactly is REDAN doing?
We have been trying all our best. Trying all our best.
Your members, they have been raping the people of Ibadan.
No, not our member. You don't understand. We do hold meeting times to time, and we do give instruction and pass this instruction to your fellow member. We have zone by zone for instance, in Oyo State here, every zone is being headed by one man or the other. You head this zone, you head this zone. If anything comes from that zone, we hold the person responsible. I went on an interview in one popular radio station in Ibadan. One agent defrauded someone. And I said, is he a real member? They said, they cannot know. Because you cannot even identify where they belong to. No regulatory body, nothing. And a mechanic will just tell you have started an estate agent's job. A barber will do it. Dry cleaner will do it. Who do you want to hold responsible? Where do they belong to?
Now, the idea of multiple inspection fees, where did you get that from?
Yeah, actually, because I don't collect inspection fee does not mean that money is illegal. It's legal. We give the instructions.
I've seen cases,
Yeah.
before you comment further, I've seen cases of an estate agent in Ibadan collected inspection fee, took them to a building that really, even he knows that that person was not going to pay for that particular apartment, eventually called someone, said that person was also going to get inspection fee, and like that until about 4 people got inspection fee one single day.
It doesn't work that way. This is how it goes. If a client comes, we give the instruction that they must collect inspection fee, truly. Because if an agent should go out with you, spend the whole day with you, without renting that apartment, what would he tell his family at home? How would he feed his family at home? But this is the guide. There is guideline on it. If a client wanted to rent an apartment, make the video, picture, send it to the person. If the person is not satisfied with the video and picture, if he decided to have physical inspection, then he will pay for inspection fee. That's how it goes. That it doesn't mean because I don't collect inspection fee, that doesn't mean that money is illegal. No, it's not.
Now, let me ask you this question. Is there a formal structure or licensing system in place for your members in Ibadan and Oyo State at large?
Yes. Yes. And you can see. So we have our member registered, and we know each and every one of our member offices and area where they are. If any of our reader member committed any crime and you reported the person is in trouble. Firstly, we will first cover it up, refund the money, then we withdraw the certificate.
Some people have accused your agents of
not our agents.
Fake listings.
No, not our agents.
Houses that are non-existent.
No. You say agents, not our agents.
Okay, agents.
Yeah, it can happen like that. Like now, we have platform generally in Oyo State. Everybody is there. Nigerian Institute of Essence of Evaluation members are there. We are there. Accounts are there. Even one who is not even registered, they will buy barbing salon, they will dry cleaner, they were there. We have association, we have platform, we operate. So if anybody committed a crime or an offense, once you refer it to us, we will look for the person, track it down, and hand it over to the police.
Now, with the current trend, how do you intend to control this, that we will not have more agents than structures in Ibadan?
Yeah, it is government that will do. I submitted few months ago, maybe around March or April. I submitted one proposal to Oyo State Housing Corporation concerning this regulatory body, because a lot of people. I went for a program on the radio program. If you see how people calls in, winning courses on agents, in fact, I was highly embarrassed that day. So when I came back, I just summoned meeting straight. We all have to assemble. Tomorrow morning we all have to meet. Then we assemble each other. I said, how can we cop this thing? Everybody comes up with idea. Then I submitted a proposal to Oyo State Housing Corporation. To the chairman of the Motor, we submitted the proposal. This is the copy of the proposal here. That government needs to come in to our aid. If not, it won't affect the government, people in power. It is the masses. And the duty of government is to protect life and properties of their masses, their citizens. So if all these things will hit and knock somebody's head, it is going to be the masses.
What are the requisites, the requirements of admitting a member into Redan Of course, I want to ask you, do you just, accept any member as they come?
No, we
Has
don't.
there been a time where you said, look, you cannot be a member of Redan?
Yeah, we don't accept anybody anyhow. Firstly, your qualifications. Secondly, you have to register. You fill form. We do verifications, background check, whether you have any past criminal activities. Then, if there's nothing like that, then we grant you our certificate. Then, after that, we grant you that C. This is our C. So that every transaction you made, there will be C there. This C has serial number. That serial number will make the association to track it down wherever you are.
Okay, now, if you are saying qualifications, what are the qualifications you are talking about?
Minimum
To be a member of Redan?
Minimum of HND.
Minimum of HND?
ND, sorry.
ND?
Yeah.
And then, if he has ND, maybe in computer science, he can be an house agent.
Yes, if you have ND in computers.
Are there any form of trainings you conduct for these people?
Yeah, we just wanted to start training because, like now,
You have not trained anyone?
We don't train, but for now we have started. We've started training. It is when you join, we organize a seminar. It is through that seminar we train people that this is how we do. This is how we do. Then when you come to your zone where you belong to, the executive there will train you and give you guidelines on how. We have break here. We give you how to guide you, how you can operate.
Now, aside from the seal you give to your registered members,
Yeah.
Are there other ways you track rogue agents?
No, it's not our duty to track rogue agents.
Do you report them to any of the authorities?
As far as they are not our member, we cannot track. Like I said,
if you claim your association is clean and then you have nothing to hide, if other agents are doing what is wrong, do you report them to any authority?
Yeah. If other agents are doing what is wrong, and once they reported to us, we got the person information. Like now, there's one on my phone presently. They sent it to me the day before yesterday. Then it's from Ojo Zone. I send it to one of our members there who's heading that Ojo Zone. I send it to him there. Track this person out. We'll arrest him, track the person. Even if the person is not in Oyo State, we'll make sure we give them the perfect information of where the person is. So once we get the person, we hand it over to the police. And like around April, the EFCC Economic Financial Crimes and Commission write a letter that they should come with us. We should partner with them, that they should organize a seminar on how to operate. That is we. It can't be we all alone. It is going to be government. All this regulatory body, it is government job, not we.
Okay, now, do you have any public platform for public consumption? I'm coming. There are products I want to buy on social media, on the internet, where I can always look for the name of the vendor, verify if they are genuine. Do people have access to checking if agents are genuine before they even pay them at all?
Yeah, we've organized seminar like that. We've organized so many programs to orientate the masses that if you wanted to rent or buy a property, make sure, the first thing you need to do is inspect the property, then try and look for the owner of the property. The agent who introduced the property to you should take you to the property owner. And if he said he have 100% authority to give it out without the consent of the landlord, that the landlord has given him a power of attorney, fine, go to his office. You cannot pay on the road. You cannot say, okay, madam, do transfer, we will give you. No. Go to his office to make payments, then collect your receipt.
Now, let's go to the big issue, the issue of commissions. You pile up, 30% of this, 20% of that, and then all of a sudden, what you are taking as commission is almost the same amount as the rent or even more in some cases. How do you calculate all this? That the problem that people are facing is that you say you want 30% of this for agreement, 30%. What is the lay down, the due process that an average Nigerian should be looking out for when it comes to renting an apartment in Ibadan?
That is why you have to go to a registered agent to transact business with. That is why you need, there is verification everywhere.
People want to know.
Yeah.
How did you come about the caution fee,
we
agreement, and the percentages? How did you come about it?
I will explain everything. You see, I won't speak on behalf of Redan all alone. I will say Redan, Nigerian Institute of Estate Survey and Valuers, and HECANS. We have guidelines. If you are a professional in this, there is guideline that will guide you on what to do.
Take us through the guidelines.
Yeah, if you want to rent an apartment, if the let's instance the apartment is 500,000, the caution fee, refundable caution fee goes to the landlord. That is 10%. It is the landlord who will hold the caution fee. Once the tenant is moving out to that property and nothing spoiled, it is refundable. That's why we call it refundable caution fee.
Caution fee. Okay. Wow.
Agreement. It's not the duty of an agent to do an agreement for. It's a lawyer that will do agreement. So it is 10%. That 10% goes to the lawyer who will do the agreement for you. Then 10% agency fee. So if you now see an agent who told you that 30% commission, 30%, no, they are not registered agents. They don't even know. They don't even have an idea about the job. Most of them just see it as means of surviving. So once they see one client, they will just pile up all their debt and everything, put it on that client, and that is wrong.
Okay, so aside from caution, agreements, and there is no other commission to be paid?
No other commission, except if the houses have service charge. That service charge means we are a security in the house, cleaning of the compound, waste bin, or community security, or lights. And that service charge will be determined by the landlord, not the agent.
Now, someone sent me something yesterday that prompted me to say, look, I'm going to ask you this when you come around. There is something really, I won't say it's funny here, because it actually got this person angry. It says, rent is 1.8 million. Live alone, stand-alone building. Agreement is 180,000, as you said, 10%.
Yes.
Commission 180,000, damages 180,000, service charge 180,000. Welcome to the estate, 35,000 naira. It was sent to a friend of mine. That's why I'm asking you this. Now, gateman fee 100,000 naira, estate security 84,000 naira. So payment to landlord will now be 2,739,000.
Maybe his analysis it might be wrong. But what happened? He said estate security 100,000. Welcome to the estate means it's going to fill form in the estate. Every estate here in Oyo State has one rules and
their modus operandi, how they do things.
Yeah, it's quite different from each other. It's like now in Oyo Estate, if you wanted to come in, you only pay for security fee and development fee of 15,000. So every estate have their own rules and regulations. So I can't say much about that. I don't even know where the house is, so I can't even say much about it. But the basic commission is 10% caution, 10% agreement, and 10% agency fee. That's all.
So do you think the Oyo State government is doing enough to regulate housing struggles in Oyo State?
I don't think they know we are existing at all. The problem facing the Oyo State government is even more than the housing, and which our own supposed to be part of it, because we are closer to the masses than them. Every blessed day, one people move from where to the other, and they will pass through an agent. Even in the area where you yourself stay, you can't know a vacant apartment there. You won't know. If an apartment is vacant at the back of your house, you won't know. It's an agent that will know. So definitely you will pass through an agent to get to what you want. We are a bridge between the landlord and the prospective tenant. So if government fails to set up a regulatory committee to regulate the system, things like this will be continuing to happen. There is no way.
I mentioned earlier that agents advise landlords on how much to charge for an apartment. Do you also do it at Redan?
Yes. Most times they call us. So this is newly like a house I manage.
And how do you come about these prices?
Yeah, we know the structure of house. We know what with what. When we see a structure of a house, we know what we want. It's standard of house will determine how much it's going to go for.
So, and you are not sure that your commission depends on how much a house is, put out for let. So,
our commission.
For example, a house is worth 300,000, you get 10%. That's 30,000. But you can easily advise the landlord to take it out to 500,000, so you can get 50,000.
My own family might be looking for that house to each. We affect my own family too. We do. I swear to Almighty God, we do try a lot concerning this landlord though. There is a house I manage at Oluyole Estate. The house is 1.5. So the landlady stay in Canada. So she now called me one day, Biadun, your money let you want only, so let me the 3 million. Look at 100% increment. I just think, So those landlords too, they do communicate. They do advise themselves wrongly, which is wrong. A house of 1.5, you now coming to increase it to 3 million. I did not even say anything. 2 days later, I called madam. That it can't be so. That is 100% increment. It's not. He said, if you cannot rent it out for 3 million, tell your tenant to vacate, and I will look for another agent. And she did so. I leave the property for her, and she give it to another agent.
Now, there are insinuations that as agent, you deliberately increase rent so that your tenants will vacate the structure, you bring a new tenant, and you'll be able to get fresh commissions.
That is not true. Because as an agent, you are managing a property. There is a commission for, apart from the first rent, that you collect 10%, also the management fee commission is 10% as well. So if another tenant is coming in, the 10% we will get is what we will get. The landlord pays you 10% on every rent every year. So why do we need to chase out a tenant before we bring in another person? Why do we need to do that?
So how do you deal with landlords who have also become agents on their own?
Yes, thank God. I'm glad you asked that question. There, it's your own property. We cannot dictate to you. Our own advice is minimal. Once we advise you to do so and you refuse, as for me, I leave the property for them. I can count like 4 or 5 that I've just dropped the property. There is a landlady that do collect 30% on her own. She will be the one that will collect caution fee, legal fee, agency fee. He said, I'm a banker. I can manage my property myself. So if the landlady collect 30%, what do you expect from an agent? We had our own 10% making 40%. And mostly, this 30% I'm talking about, if it is direct property, that is what is going to be 30%. If another agent should bring you down to my office, he also will add his own 10% to it to make 40%. Because it's not possible for me to give him out of my own 10%.
Okay. Now, let's talk about roles of government in the regulation of house struggles in Ibadan. What do you think the government can actually put in place? Let's talk about a structure that will stand the test of time. And how do you think rogue agents can actually be put where they belong?
Yeah, thank you. I said earlier that when I grant an interview on one popular radio station in Ibadan here, the calls that comes in, I'm seriously embarrassed. They are raining calls on agents on that program. So I summoned a meeting immediately, which everybody comes up with idea. We gather up so many ideas. I will now put it up together. We submitted the proposal to Oyo State Housing Corporation Board, because that is the best avenue to reach the government, because we are not comfortable with that. Today, an agent did this, tomorrow, so no, we all are affected. They won't just say it is one agent that did. No, they all put that bad names on every one of us. So we need to clean up ourselves. So we submitted a proposal to Oyo State Housing Corporation how to regulate the system. We submitted.
And did you get a response?
Yeah, I made the chairman on Ibudemola Omotosho. So I submitted the proposal to him. He said he's going to get back to me, because we want it to be regulated as well. We want it to be regulated. We are not happy with all this. If you see this one, you say, I was scammed by an agent. What is the name? So where is the registration unit? They don't.
Okay, now let me ask you this. The current state of housing market in Ibadan, is there a shortage or is just a poor distribution?
I can say there is poor distribution. That is it. That is the only thing. There is poor distribution. There is no shortage in anything housing. Really investment.
You mean there are enough structures in Ibadan to accommodate everyone?
Of course. But it's poor management. There are poor management. You can go to so many estates. If you see then, if government should come to this place, it's going to be like small London. But poor management. You just go to that place, it's very, 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 very poor. Poor management. We have so many properties, so many estates that can be assisted by the government to develop, but no way.
So how can middle-income earners get affordable housing in Oyo State?
Yeah. they can get it is through the government.
Without falling into the trap of fraudulent agents.
Yeah,
because there are some offers that are too good to be true, and that's how some people get duped, especially those ones who actually track for structures on social media.
That's why I said if you wanted to rent an apartment, go for a physical inspection, meet the landlord. If you want to pay directly to the landlord. And if the agent said the landlord gave him or her 100% approval to operate, go to his office and make payment. You can't go to someone's office to make payment and give you receipt and dupe you. No way. That's not possible. And if such thing happen, you know where that is 50%. That has assisted you 50% to track him down.
Now, should agents be responsible for informing tenants about legality and status of the property?
Yes. Agents should be informed about it. It is agent duty that's supposed to do that. Because it is we that do communicate to them time to time. Even if they have complaint, they do call on us. So we will go there. We related to them better than even the landlord.
All right. When it comes to documentation of tenants, sometimes you realize you bring every thumb, dick, and harry into structures, and you don't get to track them. I've seen a situation where fraudsters were actually given an apartment in a particular estate, and eventually they had to be sent packing. Now, how do you do your documentation that you make sure that people don't get to lie to you about what they do for a living before you actually give them an apartment? Do you do your background checks?
That was what I said. If you belong to
I'm talking about tenants now.
Yeah, that's what.
And how do you screen your tenants?
That was what I said.
If
you belong to any of these three associations, there is guideline. Before you can't just jump into this business without guideline. They will give you guideline and orientate you. If you want to rent an apartment, if you want to rent an apartment for a tenant, it will be free form. You must collect his ID card of where he's working and make background check. You make calls to the place. Then give him a guarantor form. We fill the guarantor, we collect the ID card of the guarantor and passport. So it should, in case anything happen. If anything happen, you hold the guarantor responsible. You can't just give house to anybody. And if there is problem, it is you that will face the problem. Last year, last year? Yeah, last year, some of our members went for an inspection in a place. So that same day, armed robber came to that area to rob. So they were arrested. They were taken to prison. Then the CP, last year? Last year, the CP now called us, do you all have ID cards? We said, actually, we only have, we don't. I said, no. Make official ID card for each and every one of your members. Once they have an ID card, situation like this, we were able to identify who is the real estate consultant to none. Make everybody register each and every member. And if they are going to anywhere, you should be informed. Should in case. So you can't just jump into this business without guideline. But most of them who operate without guideline, without everything, do things anyhow. If you belong to any of these associations, there is no way you can operate without guideline. No way. Because there is guideline already.
Okay, we want to talk about how Nigerians or residents of Ibadan get evicted from their structures they currently live. Is it the responsibility of you as an agent to issue quit notice to a tenant?
If a lawyer or an agent issue quit notice to a tenant, the law will recognize it.
An agent?
Yes. If you go to the court of law, the law will recognize it. As far as you use your letter heading, you have a registered company, you have letter heading, and you issue quit notice. If you go to the court of law will recognize your quit notice. Whether a lawyer issue it or you, an agent issue it, the court of law will recognize, as far as you meet up with the duration of what the law said. The minimum of 3 months and the maximum of 6 months notice to your tenant.
Now, there is a case I want to talk about when your tenants decide to leave an apartment even when their rent is not due yet. Sometimes they find it difficult to get a refund. What exactly is the problem? They have decided to go to another place to get a new apartment, but you are still probably owing them 6 months rent when they left, and it has been rented out.
No.
So why won't you pay back?
No. You see, most tenants, immediately they leave an apartment, they will request for their money immediately. No, you are still occupying that place until we see a new tenant. If you leave, your rent's supposed to expire by December. You leave by April. If I don't see any new tenant, I won't give you your money. There's no way they can refund you. You can't expect an agent to bring out money from his own pocket and refund the money to you. We are still occupying that apartment until new tenants comes in. That was when they will calculate the refund, they will give it back to you. There's no way you can leave an apartment and they won't refund your money after they let it out. No way. If such thing happens, just report to us. We take it up. I have like 2 or 3 that were taking it. I'm handling presently at Oluyole local government. I was there last week. A tenant left an apartment, so immediately that same day, someone paid. The agent did not refund the money. So that man now just coming on phone that, sir, I pick your number from a registration. So. I say, where? He said, Oluyole. Then I drive down there. Where is the agent? I said, what qualifies you to be an agent? That's what the first question I asked. I said, what qualifies you to be an agent? He said, Ogawa. He said, no, this is not about Ogawa or not. You rented an apartment, you don't want to refund it. He said, you didn't chase him out. If you don't chase him out and he move out willingly, why won't you refund his money to him? I collected that money that day. That those people who do that, they are not registered. They are not trained. They are not well trained.
Okay, if I pay for an apartment today, and I have not moved in, and by evening I think I want a new structure, I don't want that again. Will I get a full refund?
You can't get a full refund.
Why?
Yes, good. An agent has done and delivered your job for you. The job is delivered. It is you that said you don't want again. On one condition: if they have not yet to hand over the key to you, you get a full refund. But if they have handed over the key to you, you can't get full refund. That 10% their commission will be deducted from the money.
Okay, now, what do you think the government can do to help Reader and other associations to restructure and, of course, put them where they belong?
Yeah, there is a lot government needs to do. Firstly, everybody needs to register. Apart from being an association, you need to register your job under the government. It will even hand government revenue. It's even another source of revenue for the government. Because everybody will pass through that. They only need to set up a regulatory committee body. So if you wanted to operate, this is the guideline. If you wanted to operate in your state, this is the procedure. If you wanted to operate, this is the procedure. Everybody will register. And if they will collect your, we have so many, NIN is there, everything, collect your information and register it. Should in case anything happen, they will just type your information and track it down wherever you are.
All right, thank you for joining me on the show this morning. Oladipúpọ̀ Abiodun Hakeem is a member of Real Estate Developer Association of Nigeria, REDAN. Of course, he has been my guest on the show this morning. Thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you, sir.
We do hope that next time we'll have a more robust conversation as regards restructuring in that area. All right, and that wraps up the big story for today. If you have ever paid to inspect a house and never saw the agent again, or been asked to pay commission before even seeking a key, well, you know the issue hits home, literally. The conversation doesn't end here. Let's continue to challenge the status quo and demand better systems that protect people and, of course, both tenants and the landlords. Join us again next time on Daybreak Live for another edition of The Big Story, where we raise the questions others are afraid to ask. Samson Balogun is my name, saying thank you for watching. And remember, change begins when we speak out.